Has interviewed many of the world's most famous actors. His program Inside the Actors Studio celebrated its 250th episode last night. But the 86-year-old host is sparking a big conversation by revealing a secret from his youth. It was Paris in the 1950s when James Lipton was a young man in search of his rite de passage. He ended up in the sultry streets of the city's red light district.
Well, I don't believe in buying sex. I think if you haven't earned a sexual adventure, you don't deserve it. I believe that to this day. No, I didn't want sex. But my Parisian friend, he was much more casual about it. Then two beautiful young women approached and said, "Would you like to see two women make love?" I said, "I certainly would."
One of the women, Regine, became one of Lipton's closest friends.
It was platonic. Anything else would have spoiled it. I certainly wasn't going to pay her. And she certainly wasn't going to give it to me for free, because that would have been my exploiting her sexually. So we were stuck, but we liked each other. We were friends. Anyway, months went by. Finally, I ran out of money. And one night I went there and said, "I have to go back to America." And she said, "Why?" I said, "No, I just have to go back." She said, "You're broke, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "The problem is solved. You're going to be my mech."
Mech, short for mackerel, is French for what some would call a pimp. Lipton disagrees.
A pimp exploits and abuses the women who work for him. A macro does nothing of that sort. The macro works for the women. He's a procurer. He's an agent.
He quickly became a pro.
I was the only American there. And they would be saying to tourists, American tourists, they would say, "Would you like to see a personal tour to the Louvre? Would you like a personal tour to the Notre Dame de Paris?" And I would say to them, "Would you like a personal tour to Rue Pigalle? Would you like to see a sexual exhibition?" Well, I did a roaring business.
Lipton spent close to a year as a mech for Regine and the women of the bordello. And he says he has no regrets.
I'm not ashamed of it. She was my friend. I was of help to her. And we had some amazing adventures. I did go through my rite de passage in Paris. I never intended to discuss it. I didn't intend to discuss it with you now. So your lips are sealed, and if you ever mention this, I'll have to kill you.
Then we're all dead. Let's hear Lipton's top 10 questions. He could answer these. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? I like that. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrived at the pearly gates? Hello, Mac Daddy. Another side to James Lipton that we did not know about. Just goes to show you, everybody has a backstory. Anything you care to share about your youth?
No.
Wouldn't we like to know, Nora?
No, very
I would
unusual.
like to know.